So, hi. Whenever I feel bad, when I feel sad or whatever, there's different things that affect me daily. But I get it out of my system. I get it out, and I remind myself to be who I am. I just get it just overshadowed as and I get engulfed in this feeling of misery, sadness, and so on. But I then remember who I am and what I can do. And the way that I do it, the way that I take away most of my sadness, is that I basically, we do things that make us sad, that keep us sad. When you're crumpled up, you feel lonely, you feel depressed, you're kind of, you kind of like ball yourself up slowly, and that little balling as you're doing it actually makes you feel worse. It keeps you there. So to kind of get my misery and sadness out, I have to realize that I'm mad and sad or whatever it is, and it's where you have that tightening of your chest of like, oh, it's just painful. What I do is basically I breathe. First things first, I have to stretch my shoulders out. From being crumpled up, I have to feel that I'm stretching out, that I'm reaching out, that I'm expanding myself, and that I'm going to start breathing with the upper body. Usually when people breathe, they breathe from the lower section and start breathing from up here. And just breathing, you feel that tightness that in your chest, and by breathing, just taking a deep breath and slowly letting it out, just that deep breath and holding it just for a bit. You kind of feel that tightness just stretch out a bit. And with every exhale, you feel like you're letting it out. Just whatever that was, tightness that you're having, just it feels like it's pouring out of you, just slowly pouring out of your system. And that stress and tightness that you're having just stretches itself out. You just have to realize that there's so much sadness and misery and all sorts of random things that are happening to us, and it's not something that has to affect us, that does not have to take control of us, that there's no control that we have whatsoever over such events, and because of that, there is no reason at all it should be messing with us. There's no reason to hold on to it. Why do we have to feed this? You know what? Because we do it indirectly. We didn't even know we were doing this. It tricks us. So you know what? Take it in. Breathe in. Nice deep breath. Hold it in. Feel the chest expanding. Feel that tension in there just like stretching itself out. And letting out that feeling. Just letting it out however you need. Whether it be a slow breath and a nice gasp of air that comes in. Just let it out. Feel how you just stretched yourself out. Feeling how your limbs are now feeling more open. How you feel like blood's flowing through your body again. How you are now taking such a breath inside of you that is just taking all those emotions that are twisted up and just stretching them out so that they are not a ball inside. You start feeling lighter. You start feeling a little bit better. Yes, this little bit better can get you from being sad to feeling neutral. Where you're neutral, you're kind of okay, but you kind of wish you were a little bit better. But you know what? Then you have to remind yourself. You have to remind yourself who you are. You have to remind yourself, I'm a pretty awesome person. I can say this. I can say I'm a pretty awesome person because I do all sorts of stuff. And I mean, I do all sorts of stuff that are inconceivable to most people. Alright? Right now, in summer, I've got 3 jobs. One of them involves working the regular job that I've been having for a few years, which is working at a historical park. Basically, I'm a 16th century sailor, Spanish sailor, that I portray, I interpret history, and I teach history and everything. But at the same time, I get to sail a 16th century ship. Yeah, a pirate ship. Let's just summarize it as a pirate ship. I get to do blacksmithing, which I've always wanted to do since freaking middle school. And it took me 10 years after high school to find it, okay? Well, not 10 years, alright, maybe 10 years after middle school. But the point is, I found it. It took me a long time, and I found it. I can do blacksmithing. I can do old carpentry. I can craft things. I make all sorts of stuff. I do all these things that are just awesome. Then that job kind of got screwed over because the new laws that passed. So that means they cut down my regular 40 hours a week down to no more than 27 and a half. Okay, that was a major screw job that happened to me. 3 days a week that I work, so no more than 24 hours now. And you know what? Something else happened. Suddenly, because I'm good at different other things that I've been doing on the sides, every now and then I get to do something. I have a pirate job. 2 nights a week, I get to do pirate stuff. I get to dress up as a pirate. I get to be awesome. I get to be entertaining. I get to talk to people. People come up to me and say, "Oh my God, a pirate!" And because my facial hair grows like this and the way that I usually look, I tend to look like Captain Jack Sparrow. You know what? Now I'm realizing how awesome I am. People come up to me because people want to. People want to have a conversation with me. People want to, be entertained by me. They have a need for me. That makes me feel wanted. Oh my God, something that I so do enjoy. When I do the blacksmithing stuff, when I do the all this stuff, I interact with people. My job is to interact and talk with people, so I feel so much better. And the last job that I have, that I recently got just like a month ago or so, I ride a jet ski for 3 days. Okay, for a few hours in those 3 days, I ride a jet ski. And not that I'm just riding around for no particular reason. I help out a guy who has a jetpack, okay? A water jetpack. It's like an inside-out Sea-Doo. It sucks the water up instead of shooting water right out like a regular jet ski or, boat. It will send it right up through a tube where it's attached to a backpack where it has 2 jets of water that shoot right out and send you flying into the air, okay? How cool is that, okay? And I got to fly a jetpack 3 times. 2 of the awesome one and 1 that was really crappy that I crashed. It was kind of funny. That's another story. But the point is that I do this. I do this kind of stuff. I get paid to ride a jet ski around, to fly a jetpack, to be a pirate, to do all sorts of things about blacksmithing, carpentry. I get to sail a ship, a 16th century ship. Okay, I've done things in my life that most people wouldn't even imagine. Okay, if 12 years ago they asked me in high school, "Oh, what do you want to do whenever you get out of high school?" I would have never expected to say, blacksmithing pirate that flies a jetpack. Okay? Seriously. This is freaking amazing. I look at my life and realize this is awesome. Yes, in a few months this is going to end. I am moving. And out of all this, I get to look back and I can say, I have done so much. I've had an amazing life. If I have to go and get 3 jobs, which are pretty generic, well, you know what? I can look back and realize I have done some amazing things in my life. Things that people have never done or expected. You can do the same. Look at yourself. Look at all the good things that you've done. Look at all the great things you've done. Look at all the wonderful things you've done. If you do not think you have anything amazing, talk to a friend that knows you, or friends that have ideas of you, and they will tell you and remind you how awesome you are. So in this moment, after you've breathed, after you've vented out, after you've gotten everything out of yourself, and you feel like a vacant, empty thing, sometimes you just need to eat something, and then remind yourself that you're pretty amazing. We all have our own little bubbles that we live in. And you know what? In there, you're something special. How do I breathe and vent and make myself feel better? I get it out of my system. Out of all my misery, all the things that make me hurt, that I'm reminded every day. Because that's a whole other mess of stuff. I breathe, I get out of my system, I remember that there's no reason for me to be sad. And then I choose to remind myself how awesome I am. Yes, it's a deadly sin yet to be my pride and my, whatever. Let you envy me. You know what? We have to do things for ourselves. We have to do this for ourselves. To remind ourselves. Because some days, some weeks, some months, there won't be anyone else to remind us. Life will do this to us. Me, I've had months of this. And that's why I have to move. Because every day, I have to breathe. I have to remind myself. And when I'm out the door, you see me with a smile. But when I'm alone, here, I'm very sad. But fuck that. I'm gonna be awesome. Sorry for the language.